How's it going? I'm Tom. I'm going to give you a short description of Worldwork. This is just a brief overview. You'll learn a lot more about all of these things in the rest of the film. Check it out.
I have some time, so I'll help a little bit here, too. But why don't you start? And by the way, I like your punk outfit.
I don't like it. It's not professional enough for this section. But I'm interested in Worldwork, so just go on, anyway.
Good.
Okay. So, Worldwork is a new way of looking at democracy, politics,
Business,
and community process, as well as a theory and method for working with all types of groups, organizations, and communities. It was developed by Arnold Mindell and includes linear, negotiation-type approaches that work with people who are ready to sit down and talk, as well as methods that work with very emotional, non-linear interactions and conflicts. Both modalities are aspects of Worldwork's unifying paradigm. And by the way, if you'd like to think more about conflict in general, and why conflict work is crucial for our world, I strongly recommend that you take a look at the section on conflict in the extra files at the very end of the film. In any case, Worldwork is based on Arnold Mindell's concept of deep democracy. Let me tell you a little about it. Deep democracy suggests that democracy, as we know it today, needs greater awareness in order to really bring its basic ideals to life in both the private and public domains. So in general, Worldwork's goal is to bring more awareness, to deepen relationships, and discover sustainable resolutions for groups and our world, and ultimately, to help create a better world for everyone. Deep democracy values voting and majority rule, as in traditional democracy, and stresses the importance of all of the people, voices, and issues involved in a given situation, and at the same time, the need for greater awareness of the deeper background feelings, body signals, and experiences that are happening at the same time, but are often not noticed, but are crucial for the overall process.
Why don't you give them a simple example of why this is so important, and then say more about the details?
Okay. Imagine that these two people are about to agree on something during a negotiation. The man on the right looks like he's agreeing. However, part of his body is turned away, and probably means that he will drop out of the negotiation at a later date. That's a simple example, but it shows that we need to be aware of all signals and experiences to truly find sustainable resolutions. We'll take a more in-depth look at this example and body signals in another section of the film. So, to summarize, deep democracy means the appreciation of all of the different people and parts of a given situation, and the issues involved, as well as the many levels or dimensions of our experiences. There are at least 3 levels of experience that we can focus on in group life.
Sounds interesting. Tell us about each of them.
Okay. The consensus reality level focuses on the facts, issues, and real people involved in a given situation, and such things as rank and diversity differences. This level is very important. It's where social and systemic change happens.
Yes, and let me add that when there is conflict, the situation usually feels tense and static, and people are strongly on one side or another of the given issues. And in consensus reality, in a typical democratic group, organization, or community gathering, people speak their individual viewpoints about issues. and at some point voting, negotiation, or protesting happens. This is all very important.
However, alone, it's not enough for sustainable change. We also need awareness of two other levels that are happening simultaneously, but which are rarely focused on. But they are natural parts of our experience and fullness as human beings. Here they are. The dreamland level focuses on background feelings, body signals, and shared roles not normally noticed in group life.
Yes, an important part of the dreamland level has to do with the idea that a group can be understood, not only as a bunch of real people, on one side or another of a given issue, like this, but also as a kind of field, in which the sides which seem very static in consensus reality, are more like roles that are shared by everyone, to some greater or lesser degree. And because of that, we can also switch roles when we feel moved to express a different side or role. And when that happens, the field becomes more fluid, the roles can deepen, and new possibilities can emerge. And there are other things you can notice at this level, like ghost roles, meaning people or things spoken about, but no one is directly representing. Ghost roles are often one of the big keys to the group process. And now, let's take a look at the third level of deep democracy.
Okay. The essence level focuses on the common ground or field that lies behind community life.
Yes, and when a group touches on this level, it is often experienced as a kind of oneness or shared field. And for facilitators, getting in touch with the essence level is especially important for the development of greater eldership.
A Worldwork facilitator knows that awareness of each of these levels is important for complete group processes.
Okay, that was a brief summary of the levels. I have to go now, but I'll be back in other sections of the film to talk more about all of this. See you later.
See you later. Okay. To support the whole field, to elder and make a home for all sides in a given situation, and model moving back and forth between them, and to help discover the wisdom in the group and its unfolding process. A Worldwork facilitator also knows that the roles and energies that she works with in a particular group can also be found inside her or himself. So, the facilitator's inner work is also crucial. That leads me to my last point about the way in which we are all interconnected. Worldwork reveals that the problems that we discover in our groups and in the world are not only outside, but are also reflected and found to some degree in our smaller groups, in our relationships, and inside of ourselves. So, touching on all of these aspects of our experiences is an important part of Worldwork as well. We are all separate individuals, and also part of one interconnected global field. Okay. That gave you a brief idea about Worldwork. Now, let's go on to part 2, where we'll take a more in-depth look at the transition from traditional democracy to a deeper democracy. In parts 3 and 4, we'll look more into Worldwork's theory and practice. Check it out. And see you later.
Thanks. That was very interesting.